Yeah. So where have I been these past few months? I don't know, years? I don't know. I don't know when I last posted like a proper video. But I'm back. Okay. So, welcome to On the Journey with Cass. It's been a minute, but we're here. We're back, and we're here to share the truth of this beautiful, wild, crazy, unpredictable life that we lead. Honestly and sincerely, with no cutouts. I'm just gonna tell you guys like it is. If it's too dark for you, leave now. If you can't handle it, leave now. It's just gonna be the truth. I last shared a video, I think a full-length video, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, when was that? 2022. What was happening in my life? Yeah, I think it was just before I went to the UK. And was doing my master's. And midway through that, disaster struck. I think it's important that people with any sort of illness, mental or physical, learn to take responsibility for their own well-being. While obviously support is needed, and we often need people to help us and guide us through, I think we must also take responsibility sometimes and really look at when things go wrong, especially with like my illness, with bipolar. Most times it's out of your control, but sometimes there's factors that lead to you ending up where you were. And I think this video is going to be a bit about that. Honestly and sincerely, judge or don't judge, I don't actually give a rat's ass. It's what's happening. So when I went to do my master's, I was not taking my full dose of medication because I felt the medication made me gain weight. It still does. And I was just kind of tired of always fluctuating between weights, and like at my highest I was 90 kilograms. And it was a lot on me, on my self-esteem, also being a performer and being an actress, being in that world where beauty is important, right? Like I found myself getting more roles when I was smaller, but when I got bigger, I wasn't also big enough to get like the big roles. Like, you know, sometimes they're looking for a specific plus size, but I wasn't plus size enough, but I was also not slim. So I felt like, obviously my agent didn't make me feel bad about this in any way, but I just felt like the truth was I was just not the right size. It was just affecting my chances. And without consulting my doctors, I decreased my medication, which I don't suggest upon anyone. I feel like always communicate with your doctors. And I've grown so much from that moment to now that I'm now able to voice my needs and express what I don't want with my medication, and my doctor, my psychiatrist works with me. But at this point, I was 3 years younger, and I thought I had it under control, and my mood was fine when my mood was fine. But what you don't realize with bipolar is when you make a big life change, like moving countries or moving continents or whatever, stuff does happen. And unfortunately, I got really ill, and that chapter is temporarily closed for me. Although the opportunity is still there, like the school still wants me to go, but it's kind of on hold. And I think when I'm ready, I'll know I'm ready. You can do your master's till you're like 50, especially in my field. So they're holding the place till I'm ready. And I think that's great on the institution because they're very woke, very mentally health conscious, and I really appreciate that. So that happened. Then I came back to Cape Town, to South Africa. And I was just, firstly, I was obviously overly medicated because after being ill, they try to put you on a lot of medications to get you level again. And these medications do exactly what you didn't want. They cause you to gain more weight, but they also cause an emotional weight. You're foggy, you're zoned out. It's just, I won't lie to you guys, it's just a lot. I think I've never felt that low about myself. I just felt like I'd failed my family. I had failed all those who had backed me. I had failed those who cared about me and like was supporting me through all that stuff. I just felt like I'd failed, and I blamed it all on my mind. I felt that my mind was sick and was the reason that I was losing out on all these opportunities. It kind of took me back to 2020 where that whole COVID thing happened. I also got ill simultaneously with that. So it just felt like my illness kept taking from me, and I had no say. Just, it was taking from me. But then that's how I felt at that moment. But now in retrospect, I'm like, okay, Cass, obviously bipolar things happen, hypomania happens, mania happens, depression happens. But had I been maybe on the right therapeutic amount of the right dose of my medication, maybe my medication would have helped support me with that big change and all that excitement. But I just wasn't on it. So here comes the other thing, which while I know sometimes when you're on medication for physical or mental illnesses, it's tough because of the side effects. But if you do not like the side effects, please go to your doctors, go to people who can help you come up with a new medication to try or help you manage those side effects. Maybe it is reducing your dose or whatever, but do it with a licensed professional and not on your own. That's what I learned. Anyway, 2022 happened. I think that whole year, or at least the first 6 months, I was not myself. I was struggling. I was very lucky to have a partner who really supports me. So even with this weight gain thing, because the thing is, I'd been losing weight, right? And obviously after coming out of the hospital, I'd gained it all. And my partner was very patient with me because he's a gym freak himself. And he like walked along with me all through the way. And I actually like slowly and gradually lost weight. I'll talk about that in another video, but like I'm at where I am now physically is great strides. I'm like 20 kilograms lower than I was then, and I'm still going. I'm still on a weight loss and fitness journey that I'm really proud of. I'm getting stronger. Even if it's not all about the weight loss, it's just about my physique and my strength, and I'm feeling a lot stronger. 2023, why does it feel like a haze? 2023 feels like a haze because I think after I got back, I kind of didn't really know where to situate myself, because in my head, I'd already planned to be this master's guru in the UK doing these great things and shit. But that wasn't happening. So I kind of had to just get back into my voice work. I was still doing my auditions. I was still doing my castings, even though sometimes I feel like, why am I here? I'm not gonna get it. I'm not cute enough. But I was still there. And my voice work, as usual, always came through for me. I do very well at it, and I'm very grateful that I have this as a second career. 2023. I think I'm gonna skip. I'm not really good at the timelines, but I'll just keep trying to. 2024, I remember clearly going through a hypermanic phase. And if you watched my previous videos, I go in about hypomania and how that is different to mania and depression. But in summary, hypomania, you're feeling high energy, no sleep, irrational thoughts, grandiose plans, higa haga, everything. Mania, almost, because I get psychosis. Mania, I'm completely out of it. I am the stereotypical crazy girl. Depression, low, wanting to delete yourself. Yeah, those are the 3 phases. But in April, I kind of felt like this was a different kind of hypomania, because while I was 2024, April, while I was aware that this was happening, I had such a hold of it. Like, I knew it was, I could feel all the things that you feel when you're hypomanic, the high sex drive, the impetuousness, the whatever, but I was really trying to channel it into my creativity. This is the time that I even wrote a play and I showed it to some people. I did a reading. I don't think it was my best moment, but I felt quite proud of myself because I did something. You know, I was brave. You know, this thing about hypomania, like, obviously it gets a bad rap because it's not a good thing. You're sick. But you're so in touch with your creativity. You're so in touch with those parts of you that you're too shy to show with the world when you're yourself. Because I have anxiety, for example. So I'm quite anxious to write a play. I'm quite anxious to show my poems. But when I'm hypomanic, I feel quite like energized and I feel confident and I just don't have any doubts. And if anything I love about bipolar is that moment where you just don't have any doubts and you just know you've got this. Even though sometimes that poem ain't it, that poem is shit, but like, you think you got it. I like that feeling, even though it's temporary. Anyway, I had my hypomanic episode. Obviously, after that, I had a low episode. And in between all this, guys, I really want to share this information and I really want to connect with other people who have bipolar, who have people who they love who have bipolar, or who think they have bipolar, or who are interested about bipolar, or who just want to know about mental health more. I just want to talk to all those people and connect with those people. But I just didn't have the courage. I didn't have the courage to do it. I was just too anxious, I know it doesn't look like that on social media because I'll be doing all these things. If you follow my Instagram, you would think this girl's so confident. And I am. But I'm also quite doubtful. I often feel alone. I spend a lot of time on my own, in my thoughts, in my head. And yeah, I just feel like it's hard. It's hard to make these videos for me. I like it when they're done, but to begin and say I'm starting, I feel naked. I feel naked, and I feel naked, but I also feel like the vulnerability is the only way I can get my message across and help those people who might feel alone and feel confused about this illness and not know where to turn, or those who are just curious. And I also feel like once I changed my mindset about the whole YouTube thing, like before it was about like, okay, I need to get the views, I need to get the subscriptions, but I've realized if people don't care, it's okay. You don't have to care. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's not fun. It's not quick. But it's the content I'm gonna release. And some of it will be fun because I'm a fun bipolar baddie. So some of it will be fun. Some of it will be a bit more dark and sincere, but like, I just hope I can take you on that journey. And I think that's just what I wanted to say for this first video. Upon my return, I'll try, I won't promise, but I will try to put out a video once, if I have more time, twice a week. Some of them will be shorter than others. Sometimes it'll just be shorts. So just keep a lookout on my shorts. But yeah, guys, On the Journey with Cass is back. We were taking a little halt. We had a breakdown, and we might have more of those, but we got the car serviced, and onwards and forwards we go. Anyway, guys, that was just me, and that's me. I'm back. You'll be seeing a lot of fitness, a lot of lifestyle, and a lot of me. and just some sincere talks. And I hope you keep tuned in. Thank you guys for this time. See you next time. That's cringe, but see you next time. See you next time. See you next time. Oh.